I wanted to know what the difference was between, detaching from our emotions, and stuffing them under the rug rather than just saying, I don't want to be that way. And for me, it seems like our attention span and focus kind of goes hand in hand with quality of consciousness. And sometimes I feel like my awareness is really present and it can focus for long periods of time. And other times it's like my eyes just want to defocus and I want to just kind of zone out. I guess particularly when I'm running away from my emotions or interacting in a certain way. I can connect with others and their emotions, but I feel like sometimes I resist it because I'm perceiving it as being vulnerable, and just the stigma around like men and showing their emotions. So that's my question.
Okay. Well, emotions are your consciousness, and emotions are just part of what you are. So emotions are there, but emotions come in two types, and that's positive and negative. Okay? And we kind of need to treat those differently. Now, we don't need to bury any of them. Burying your emotions, sticking them under the rug and burying it just gets them out of sight, but they fester there, and it's not a good thing to do. You can, sometimes it may be appropriate to suppress an emotion if you have one, and then you realize it's not a good emotion to express. It's going to cause more harm than good, so you suppress it. Okay, so in a way that's stuffing it down, but it's not pushing it out of sight. After you've suppressed it, you need to also think about getting rid of it if it was negative. It's a negative emotion. You can say, okay, well, I kept my mouth shut. I smiled when I wanted to yell, and I'm glad I did that, but now let me deal with that negative emotion. I don't want to be that way. So you can deal with them. Now, being, suppressing negative emotions is civilizing. Everybody around you appreciates it when you suppress your negative emotions, but it isn't helpful to you if you don't at the same time work on getting rid of them. It does make your life better because you're not poisoning everything around you with your negative emotions, but you have to have a serious and sincere attempt to want to change it, not just suppress it. Okay, to get rid of it, not just control it. So that's the important thing about negative emotions. Now, positive emotions don't need to be suppressed so much. Positive emotions are usually joyous and happy and makes things better rather than making things worse. But sometimes even they can be inappropriate. Even they can be inappropriate because other people don't share your joy. Maybe Uncle Fred been struggling for 6 months in the dying process, full of pain and misery and unhappiness. And when he dies, you go, okay, he finally broke loose. Good. Now he can go on. I'm so happy for him. And you being happy about that just doesn't play well with everybody else who's saying, oh, so sad. He just passed away. How can you be happy? Well, in that case, you might take your joy and suppress it for that group because it wouldn't play well. But for the most part, showing your positive emotions tends to be a good thing. A good thing. Now, if you're in a situation where no emotion is allowed, let's say at work. You're at work and you're in a meeting and it's your boss and some of your peers and you're all discussing something and you're thinking, gee, that's a dumb idea. Well, you don't say that. You don't say, gee, that's a dumb idea. That's not the way to approach things in the office. That'll just start a fight and create problems. And you didn't mean it to be negative. It's just the way you feel about it because it is a dumb idea. Or even a positive emotion isn't welcome there because now you're in emotionless space at work where we just do intellectual things. We trade ideas. We say what we think. We accept what other people say, and we keep our emotions buttoned up because emotions just create havoc in the workplace where we're just trying to get things done. Nobody's trying to learn. Nobody's trying to grow up. We're just trying to make more money. We're just trying to get the widget out the door. You see, so in that place, then mostly you stuff all your emotions down because work is an appropriate place to air your emotions. But there are places that are appropriate. You know, you're in a movie and it's really sad and you're relating to the characters, and so it makes you cry. Well, good, cry. Don't feel like, well, big boys don't cry, you know, just cry because you feel like it. That's all right. And if other people don't like it, they can lump it. You know, it's just not a big deal at that point. And if you're happy, show your joy. So yes, learn to get rid of your negative emotions by learning to get rid of your fear. But express your positive emotions whenever it's appropriate, because those positive emotions help everybody else feel positive. You ever been around when some 8-year-old starts to giggle, particularly a little girl, and within 10 seconds, everybody within hearing range has a big grin on their face, and even if they have no idea what's going on, just the sound of laughter makes everybody feel better. Just the sound of somebody having joy makes everyone feel better, whether they know what's going on or not. So it's a big plus up for everyone just to be around somebody that's happy. Everybody smiles when somebody within 10 feet is happy. So express your happiness. It makes everybody feel better. And so I'm not sure, you know, there are times when emotions maybe aren't appropriate, like at work or you know, other places, but you express them when you can and when it's appropriate. And if they're negative, if you do suppress it because you're aware it's a negative, then work on it. Don't just, well, I'll just suppress those. I'm okay, I'll just suppress those. No, you need to get rid of them, not suppress them. So does that help, Justin? I'm kind of blundering around with your question. Hopefully I've hit some of the points that are meaningful to you.
Yeah, no, you definitely hit it. I think I appreciate all the examples as well. I think for me, it's also suppressing the happy ones too, when I feel like I have to be intellectual, you know, and it's like wrong to express my, I don't know, that side of myself.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's an inappropriate time to be that way. But then you said how it is helpful to be happy, you know, when you're around other happy people. So I have to look at it that way too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look at your environment. Let's say you're around a bunch of people, and if you express your emotions there, that will cause difficulties. You know, they're, oh, look at him, he's emotional. Hey, baby, what are all those emotions about? You know, keep those under control. Well, if you're in that kind of company, then don't express them, because those people aren't grown up enough to deal with it. They're not grown up enough to deal with you. So you treat them, you know, maybe like children. You know, they're not old enough to understand. But if you're with other people who are maybe neutral, you know, some of them might suppress, some of them may not. It's kind of a mixed group. Well, go ahead. If a few people don't like it, they can learn from it. You might be a good role model for them. Maybe they'll laugh or cry next time at the movie too, because they see that you can do it. So if you can, it's okay for them. You see, so don't worry too much about it unless you know the result's going to be negative. If it's just going to be mixed, just be yourself. Let it flow however it is. If it's going to be negative, well, then you probably want to suppress it. If it's not going to be negative, and maybe a little negative here, but not negative everywhere, some positive, then just be yourself. You don't have to please everybody. Life isn't about being what everybody wants you to be. Life is mainly about being yourself. Now, we don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot by doing things that are inappropriate to the people around us, even if all the people around us are that way because they're, you know, low quality. Doesn't matter. They are how they are, and we respect that. So yes, let the emotions be, particularly positive ones, are lovely for everyone, and negative ones are negative for everyone.
Yeah, I think I just need to work on the fear of allowing myself to be myself kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Right. If I'm myself, will I be rejected for being me? Yeah, that's a fear of not being good enough or not being sufficient. And that's something for you to overcome, because when you're negative about yourself, it makes everything else more difficult.
All right. Thank you.